এইচএস ফার্স্ট ইয়ার ইংরেজি কবিতা মাই মাদার এট 66। লেখকের নাম কমলা দাস। কোশ্চেন নম্বর 1, হু ইজ দ্য পোয়েট অফ দ্য পোয়েম মাই মাদার এট 66? কমলা দাস ইজ দ্য পোয়েট of the poem My Mother at 66. Where is the poet driving for? The poet was driving from his parents' home to the Cochin airport. What does she notice when her mother sat beside her? She noticed that her mother was dozing with her mouth open. Find words from the passage that mean sleep lightly and dead body. Doze means sleep lightly and crops means dead body. Why is her mother's face like that of a corpse? Her mother's face looked pale, faded and lifeless, like a dead body. Question number 6. Where is the poet going and who is with her? The poet is going from her parents' home to the Cochin airport. Her mother, who is 66 years old, is with her. Question number 7. Why are the young trees described as spinning? Kamala Das is driving from her parents' home to the Cochin airport from moving car. The young trees growing outside appear to be running with the speeding car. Hence, she describes them as spinning. What does the speaker do after the security check? What does she notice? They have to pass through a security checkup at the airport. After it, the poet stands a few yards away. Before saying parting words, she looks at her mother again. Her face looks pale and colorless like the late winter's moon. She presents a picture of aging and decaying. Question number 9. Why does the poet feel her old familiar ache and what is her childhood? The sight of her old mother's corpse like face aroused that old familiar ache. In her heart, childhood fear returns. The fear in that with aging comes decay and death. Perhaps she herself may have to face all these things. This idea is quite painful and fearful to her. Question number 10. What does the poet see happening outside? The thought of the aging again another occupants her mother mind. Her pale and aching corpse looking face brings to her mind the picture of decay and death. The poet needs a diversion and looks outside. She watches outside the young trees. They spread, past them and appear as if they are sprinting them. She sees happy children running out and making merry. Question number 11. What is the kind of pain and ache that the poet feels? The poet sees the pale and corpse like face of her mother. Her old familiar pain or ache returns. Perhaps she has entertained this fear since her childhood. This is the fear of the decay and death. Time aging spare none. They have not spared her mother. They may not spare her too with aging. Separation and death become unavoidable. Question number 12. Why does the poet compare her mother's face to a late winter's moon? The similar used here is apt as well as effective. The poet's mother is at 66. She has shrunk to an ancient face resembling a corpse. She has lost her shine and strength of her youth. Smile largely. Similarly, SIMILE. Similarly, the late winter moon looks hazy, obscure, lacking shine and strength. Hence, the comparison is quite natural and appropriate. Question number 13. What is the poet's childhood fear? Aging and decaying spare none. The childhood is the fear of decay and death. Question 14. He looks out at young trees. The poet or the daughter looked out at young trees. Which thought does the speaker put away? The poet put off the thought of her aging and decaying mother away from her mind. Her corpse like ancient face reminded her of her mother's approaching death. What do the young sprinting trees signify? The young sprinting trees signifies energetic action of the youth. Question number 17. What are the merry children spelling of their homes symbolic of? The poetess take of various stages of life. On the one side, there are merry children play and enjoy in the sun, comma, full stop. They represent life, vigor, continuity, power, action, and carefree life. On the other, there is her aged mother. The continuity in the activities of life as well as spontaneous flow of life has been depicted by the merry children smiling out of their homes. Question number 18. Why does her childhood fear surface at his stage? While driving towards the airport, she looked at her old mother sitting beside her. She was aged, weak, pale, and wan. She looked like a corpse. She was afraid lest she should die soon. Separation from her was a troublesome and heartfelt thought. These fears surfaced at this stage because the mother was going to see off at the Cochin airport. Question number 19. Why was the poet put on a smile? The poet parting words signify to her mother some sort of hope. This expressed some promise and expectation of seeing her mother again. On her return, she might find her alive. So she scatters smile on her face to pay her mother her lasting tribute. On the other hand, she is troubled at heart to leave her mother alone. Question number 20. Explain the statement. I saw my mother, her face ashen like that of a corpse. Or how does the poet's mother look like? What kinds of image has the poet used to sacrifice her aging decay? The mother of the poetess is 66. The age he has withers her strength and vigor. Her face is pale and looks like a corpse. The world outside world expresses a good contrast. The young children are coming out of their homes. The image of dozing is contrasted with spilling of the children. Her ancient face is contrasted and the crop's life is contrasted with young trees sprinting. Going to see off at the Cochin airport. Question 119. Why does the poet put on a smile? The poet parting words signify to her mother some sort of hope. This expressed some promise and expectation of seeing her mother again. On her return, she might find her alive. So she scatters a smile on her face to pay her mother her lasting tribute. On the other hand, she is troubled at heart to leave her mother alone. Explain the statement. Saw my mother, her face ashen like that of a corpse. Or how does the poet's mother look like? Question mark. What kinds of image has the poet used to satisfy her aging decay? The mother of the poetess is 66. The age has withered her strength and vigor. Her face is pale and looks like a corpse. The outside world expresses a good contrast. The young children are coming out of their homes. The image of dozing is contrasted with spilling of the children. Her ancient face is contrasted, and the crop's life is contrasted with young trees sprinting.